Hi everybody, it's Laura from Sewist Abroad, and today we are on day number 5 of our Rainbow Hexie Quilt Along. Today's the last day. Can you believe it? Can you believe that you have made it this far? You should have something in front of you that looks spectacular, and it is just waiting for its finishing touch. Which is my least favorite part, is finishing the binding of the quilt. So today we're going to go through 2 ways of doing that. Machine binding, which is me because I like instant gratification and I want to bust out this binding as fast as possible. It is my least favorite part of quilting, but it has to be done. And then we are going to talk about hand basting or hand finishing your binding, which is the classic traditional way of doing it, and it looks really neat. Hand sewing is not my forte, so I rarely do this, but it always looks so good. So we're gonna go through that as well. And then once we're done today, that's it. You've done it. You've created a quilt, a piece of art that you can either hang up on your wall, which I do here, and I wake up to this every single morning. Or another really great idea is after you get your binding on, you can either make that into a pillow sham. How awesome would that be? Or you could be really generous and gift that to somebody. I'm not there yet. This is still my baby. But either way, let's get started and let's get this quilt finished and finish the binding. All right, let's go. Alrighty, we are here. It's our last day and we are gonna finish up our binding on our quilt. So, as you can see, I have pressed my binding open. Look how nice that is. See, this is, oh no, it was on the other end. You can't even tell. It's even confusing me. This was my join that we did yesterday to create a seamless binding. Look at that, you can't even tell. So I hope that yours turned out like that too. If not, let me know and we can do it together. We'll figure it out. We'll get you there. Okay, so my binding is pressed open. Now, if you are gonna be hand finishing your quilt, then yours will be, it'll be the exact opposite, okay? So yours will be attached to the front and you are gonna press that open. But look how nice and flat that is. So this part, this is it guys. This is the home stretch. We are here, we are here. We are almost done. And this really, honestly, this part's really not that bad. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna fold our binding over and I'm gonna give it a clip. I don't do it all the way because I do like to press mine before I sew. So I loosely clip at this point, but it's mostly just to make sure that it's all folded over. See? And then we get to a corner, and guys, I promise all the hard work for the corner was done when we're attaching the binding in the first place. So this is gonna be super easy. You ready? We're gonna bring our binding, we're gonna fold it all the way over. I'm gonna do this here so you can see it a little bit better. We're gonna fold it all the way over. And we're gonna pop our corner out a little bit. See how it's gonna create an angle? We're gonna clip that, like so. There's our little flappy flap. We're gonna fold that over. It's like wrapping a present at Christmas time. That's what I think about every time. And it's true, we are wrapping a present because we're almost finished. Oh, somebody is unhappy. Can you hear that crying? That's my littlest one. Okay, look at that. Because we're doing this at the front, we can just like make sure that it's a really nice miter edge. I clip it on an angle and then I'm gonna set that with an iron before I hit it with my sewing machine. Okay, so we're just gonna do this all the way around the quilt. I'm gonna match it up. I like to eyeball it so to make sure that my binding is equal all the way around. Just do a far reach here for a clip. Okay, so I'm going to do this all the way around and then I'm going to hit it with the iron, and when I come back I will show you what it looks like before I sew it with my machine, okay? There we go. Okay, so I have my binding now all pressed, so I folded it over and I gave it a good press, and I have my clips just holding my edges down. Okay, until they cool. Once they cool, then they kind of set and it's pretty good. So now I'm going to run this through the machine, and what I am going to do is I am going to try to get as close to this edge as humanly possible. Right? And then that's it. This quilt will be finished. Now, if you were doing this and you wanted to do it by hand, so the traditional way, your binding is attached to your front. You're going to press it open. You're going to fold it over the back. So it's going to be just about the opposite. Let's fold this down so you can see. Okay, so this is what it would look like if after you've pressed your binding and you fold it over. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a blind stitch all the way around, which is again why I don't like doing that part. So you're going to do a blind stitch all the way around, and then it's going to look seamless, which is beautiful, and it's lovely, and it is labor of love. It's just not my thing. And I really suck at doing a blind stitch. But basically you're just going to take a little nibble out of your top fabric and a little nibble out of your bottom fabric, just like you're hemming your pants by hand, and you're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so then you'll have a finished quilt. Ta-da! How awesome is that? And this process goes for even if you're doing a larger quilt. It's all the same. It's just the size that changes. So we have this beautiful quilt and we want to hang it on the wall. How do we do that? Well, that is a really good question. Step 1 or option 1. Remember those pockets that we put on there? Okay, so head over to the craft store and you get yourself a little dowel or like a flat one that looks like a ruler. I like those better because they hang closer to the wall, right? And you just pop it in. Cut it like maybe a ½ inch or so smaller than your actual quilt, because you don't want to pull and extend these corners out because then it'll be warped when it's hanging, right? So you want it about a ½ inch smaller, so that way it'll be nice and fit, slim, and you can use command strips. So you put your command strips on your flat dowel there and you attach it to your wall. If you have a round dowel and you want it further out from the wall, that's what it'll do. It'll push it out a little bit more. Then you can just get command hooks and then you sink that dowel right into there. I do not plan that far in advance. What I do is I actually save little bits of cereal boxes because it's like that nice thick cardstock. And here comes my glue. Who thought that you would ever use glue so much when you're sewing? And I glue it to the corners of my quilt, like a nice good patch. Like I try for like a good 2 or 3 inch square, and I put it right in the corner and I set it with my iron, and then I add my command strip to that. Now, on heavier quilts, I'll use the Velcro command strips, but on the smaller ones, I just use the poster ones because it's lightweight. And I have never had an issue with that. It sticks up on my wall and I can move it and change it as I please, and it's no big deal. I haven't had a quilt fall down on me yet. The other thing, and I found this at Michael's the last time I was in, it was on clearance. And it's double-sided removable poster tape. This doesn't, like, it will hold up a larger quilt, like a larger wall quilt like this one, if you put a lot of it on it. But for the smaller quilts, like if you're doing mug rugs and you want to hold them up, or anything smaller, like just a single block little wall quilt, this will hold it up just fine. And you don't have to glue anything to your quilt. You just apply it to your quilt, rip it off, and then stick it onto your wall, and it holds it up just fine. And I found it for clearance. It was like $5. Doesn't say how long. Oh, 150 inches. That's not too bad. It wasn't too bad. So I picked that up. And yes, this would look smaller ones, not big ones. Now, if you're doing one of those huge wall statement quilts, then by all means, you're going to need a dowel at that point. And this is where this pocket trick comes into play. So that's that. You've made yourself a rainbow hexagon quilt. I am so proud of you. I cannot wait to see all of your pictures and to show me what it is that you guys have come up with. I love this, and I love sharing projects like this. So please let me know if there's any other sew-alongs that you would like to do, or some other projects you would like to explore, because I would love to do it too. And it doesn't have to be quilting related. I like sewing a whole bunch of stuff. I like sewing bags, I like sewing clothing, you name it. I would love to share this with you because it's a lot of fun. And if there's any ways that I can improve or any things that you think that I can polish up so that way it's easier for you to learn or to understand what I'm doing, I would love your feedback. Thank you so much for joining me. This is my very first quilt along, sew along, and I'm so excited. So thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to doing this with you again.